today's video is going to be based around 3 very easy and simple ways to not only save, not only be successful, but to cut costs and be successful on an independent level. And like I said, always my opinion, my perspective. But 3 of those ways happen to be heart, smarts, and resources. And the first one I'm going to touch on is going to be heart. This happens to be one of my favorite subjects, one of my favorite things to talk about. And just my personal opinion, when I first started, my personal experience, when I first started, I didn't have all the money. I didn't have startup money. I didn't have a whole lot of help. I didn't have a whole lot of people who believed in the first place. But what I did realize is that my consistency, my will to succeed, and my heart could easily trump a lot of the people that may have came in with a gang of support. That may have got that shout out from a celebrity, or whose money may have been way longer than mine. And when I say heart, I mean going against the grain. Going against the doubters, going against the naysayers, going against the closed doors. When I say heart, I mean having faith. Like I say, I know a lot of us, we may answer to a different person. We may have different beliefs. But, from my understanding, faith plays a big role in any and every religion. And, and not just faith in religion, having faith in oneself, jumping out the window, taking that leap of faith, just stepping out there, just making up your mind that you want to accomplish something and going after it. Like I said, a lot of us are not afforded the same people, the same opportunities, the same situations as others. So especially those coming from an independent level, you're going to have to, heart is going to be a huge one. And I tell people this all the time, because I know a lot of people that started out the same time I started who aren't here in business to this very day. They weren't as successful, and they haven't lasted as long either. But like I said, consistency has a lot to do with your heart. When you're not making money from it, when you haven't made a dime yet, to get up and to continuously do it, no matter what. Consistency, ambition. And it's something else I tell people all the time, kudos to the college people, kudos to, the people with the gang certificates, with degrees, all that. I take my hat off to anybody that sets their mind out to accomplish something and makes it happen. But one of the big things that school cannot teach you, which I learned, they can't teach you heart. They can't teach ambition. They can't teach they can't teach you how to succeed. They can't give you will. They can't give you sacrifice. They don't know how to give you discipline. And like I said, that's one of the biggest things. I know a lot of people who came in, they had the loans, they had the backing, they had all those things. But their heart wasn't as big as mine. They weren't willing to go to the ends and to go to do the things I was willing to do to succeed. And like I said, just the easiest way to sum that one up is heart is something you cannot teach. Heart will simply push you to your limits, and will push you to limits that many other individuals are not willing to go. So like I said, specifically today, this is going to be one where we step it off piece by piece. So number 1 is going to be heart. Number 2 of our conversation today is going to be smart. I hated school. I'll be honest with you, the only reason I graduated, the only reason I completed it is because solely because of my parents. But anyway, smarts is going to play a huge one. And like I said, today's video is based more on, like I said, 3 easy ways to be successful, 3 easy ways to, grow and be progressive, especially on an independent level. Because all of us don't have the background, the backing, and, the outside utilities and help as others do. And something that I harp on every time and I tell people, I know it sounds cliche, but I'm going to keep saying it and keep saying it. Knowledge is everlasting. And what I understand, especially with this generation, is people equate knowledge to school. They feel like, if I want to get smarter, if I want to get better, I just got to go to school. I got to sit in front of a professor. I got to hang with the TA, and I got to do this and that to gain knowledge. And I said this on previous Daily Juice, but I'm here to tell you again, I graduated with a 2.28, almost a 2.3, 2.28 GPA. I tried my hand at college. I got between 4 and 6 credits, and I left there as well. But again, my personal opinion, my perspective. But back to the point, number 2 is smarts. And I tell people this all the time. I wrote a complete daily jewel about this one, intellectual property. That word seems simple. To some people it doesn't seem simple. But the intellectual property is the things that you gain during the journey on the way to whatever it is you want to accomplish. From my experience, whether it be when I learned how to cut down boxes so my shipping cost was cheaper, when I learned about the proper use of hashtags and how I could get my business, that's based out of Tampa into Australia, things of that nature. The intellectual property, the things that you pick up, that you learn, even the lessons learned, good or bad, the small fine details and the fine tuning that you may learn and that somebody else may put you on your way of getting there. That is the intellectual property. And I tell people all the time, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care about your connections. I don't care about any of those things. Intellectual property is more vital to you than any of those things. And I'm sure we may all know someone. I know several people. But a lot of us know individuals who you can snatch their livelihood from them right now. You can uproot them. You can take everything they worked hard for right now. But there are some individuals out here who just they have this special quality about them that no matter what happens to them, no matter what they go through, no matter what's taken from them, they retain the smarts, the wits, and the intellectual property, and the drive, and the heart, again, which is number 1, plus the smarts, that they can go obtain those things. They can go get it right back. We know a lot of millionaires, we know a lot of athletes, that they find themselves in trouble with the IRS. They find themselves in trouble with all kinds of people. But it's some crazy thing about these individuals that they find a way to not only get back on their feet, but to progress all over again. And me, myself, I would like to, in my opinion, I give a lot of that to the intellectual property. On the way there, you retain these things. You can't retain money. You can't retain materials, but what's in here cannot be taken. Unless they got the zapper off Men in Black, they cannot erase what you've obtained on the way there. And I say that again, that's number 2, that's smarts. Don't overlook the details on the way to the journey. Stop being in such a rush to get there. You have to pay your dues. I tell people that all the time. You got to crawl before you walk. You have to learn to count 1,000 before you know how to count 1,000,000. Be grateful for those times. Those are the very times that will go with you forever. Intellectual property is a thing that you can leave to your children. Intellectual property is a thing that you can, you can bestow on the people around you that helps them get to where you are, or even further. And this actual piece actually touches on hearts and smart. But a lot of us have to stop being afraid to learn by trial and error. And like I said, I love to speak from a place of personal experience. Trial and error is the greatest teacher. There's no lesson like learning it on your own. And like I said, this is another one that can definitely help for the people who are on the independent grind, or not even independent, even if you're in college or wherever you are in life. If you're trying to achieve, if you're trying to be successful, if you're trying to achieve these goals, stop being afraid to learn from trial and error. You need to get out there and scrape your knee every once in a while. You need to jump outside and see what it's like to get rained on. Fear is confining and holding a lot of us. Even some of the people who haven't necessarily jumped out yet, fear is confining them. And for the people who are out there, and like I said, with number 1, with hearts, there are some things these books cannot teach. I know myself, again, speaking from personal experience, when I got into entrepreneurship, I really knew nothing about nothing. I knew that I had a product or item that was hot. I knew people were going crazy for it, and I knew I can sell it. But I knew nothing about marketing. Where to start it, how to present it, demographics, liabilities, things like that. But like I said, with trial and error, and I tell you guys no lies, I learned much. I would probably say 50% of the intellectual property I have, I took from YouTube. I took from bookstores, And I took from going out there with an ideal and a concept and either making it work. Sometimes it sometimes it did its thing, sometimes it failed. But trial and error, self-educating, going out there and personally going through these things rather than letting another man tell me, how to go about it or how to do it. And I'm not saying don't take information from others, because that's what this very video is about. Me giving you my personal experiences and my perspective on how you can be successful. But I'm basing them off my personal experiences, not what another man has taught me, not what my mentor has taught me. I'm telling you, when I was broke, when I had nothing, when I had no outside funding, when no one wanted to, lend a helping hand or deal with me, we had to build these things independently, straight from the mud. And the bookstore is free, YouTube is free, and having thought-provoking conversations with people, which is what we're doing now, having thought-provoking conversations with people who have actually lived these things, are free. Not only free, they're pretty much priceless. But again, y'all, that's number 2. Smarts. Self-education is vital. Self-interpretation is vital. It's no different from religion. It's all about how you interpret it. And the same goes for success. The same goes for progression. The same goes for education. You can teach yourselves. I'm not saying that college and whatnot it doesn't help, but don't be afraid to teach yourself. You do not specifically need these other outside individuals to give you information to be all that you can be. Step out there, get your hands dirty, scrape your knees, and figure it out. That's number 2, y'all. Smarts. We're gonna go on to the final one, number 3. Definitely one of my favorite ones, especially when I started. Resources. Like I was saying in the beginning with heart, a lot of us don't come out the gate with the same resources, the same funding, rich families or, friends in high up places that can help us progress, that can help us be seen, or that can fund our dreams, period. So a lot of us, again, especially on the independent level, we have to rely on our resources. We're living in the era of Wi-Fi. If you cannot afford cable, or if you need to cut back and prioritize and save, utilize Wi-Fi. There's a McDonald's on every corner. There's a Starbucks. There are malls. All these places provide free internet. Even food. Like I said, prioritize your expenses, especially when you're coming from an independent level, whether it be entrepreneurship, whether you be a college student. Food, we have to learn. These are one of the biggest expenses. And again, I speak from a place of experience because I've dealt with these things. I not only had to feed me, but I had to feed the 2 children that I brought into this world at a point in time when my business was making $0. Eating out, gas. We have to be strategic about all our moves, financially especially. Remember, every business and every individual starts in the red. A small percentage of us are born rich. We're born in wealthy families. I don't know anybody personally, but I know it does exist. So not everybody starts in the red, but the vast majority of us start in the red, especially with entrepreneurship. You have to prioritize your expenses. You have to be conscious of where you're moving around to. If you wake up and you got 7 errands to run, get up early and try to knock them all out at the same time. Have designated days that you move around the city. Have designated days that, you eat certain places. Or, you may be terrible at it, but you're going to have to get your culinary skills right. These are small, simple things. They're very simple, but they play a huge role in where our money is dished out. And like I said, coming from an independent level or even a team level or entrepreneurship, period, you're going to have to prioritize those things. That could very well be the difference of you hitting one level and staying at one because you don't have the finance. And again, y'all, like I was saying in the beginning, a lot of our beginning places don't start the same. I know a lot of people that was in my same position or that may be in a position now, and I'm here to tell you, don't down yourself or shoot your dreams down because you didn't get a scholarship, because you don't have the funding, because you don't have a team of people behind you. I mean, when I first started out into this very day, the same individual who handles my emails, who ships my boxes, who interacts with these customers, who runs my Instagram, who runs my social media, period, is the same individual that you're seeing on video right now. I do get help here and there from family members that step in, you know, and they do dirty work for me, which is very well appreciated. But all of us won't have, because I know I didn't, all of us won't have the teamwork in the beginning. All of us won't be able to start out with a cohesive unit. And keep in mind, y'all, prioritizing is huge at this stage. Like I said, we're all going to start in the red. If these things don't make sense, if they don't add to the greater of the end all goal, we have to cut them loose, whether it be people, whether it be expenses, you know, whether it be shopping, you know, even for the babies. You know, I said this a while back, a few daily Jews ago, we got to practice hibernation. We have to fast on our spending. Those are keys to success. Having revenue that you can invest in yourself to, you know, to grow your business, even from marketing. I know when I first started out, you know, I had no marketing dollars. I didn't have the money to pay someone, you know, to help me with a website, to build me up a big, nice website like I have this very day. I started out with the Yahoo dashboard. That's what it was. I started out with a Yahoo dashboard, you know, a box icon site, you know. In retrospect, the site was terrible. But like I said, you know, just touching back on the heart and the smarts, my consistency and my work ethic drew people in anyway and helped me get to where I'm at now, just a little over 3 years later. But even back then, you know, I was dealing with times of destitution where I didn't necessarily have lights at certain time. Well, I definitely didn't have cable. I had been stripped of all those things because of my financial state. But again, just going back to using your resources, you know, I would drag my 2 crazy kids to Starbucks, and we would sit in there, you know, they would run around and tear up Starbucks while I try to get my work done. Or I would drag them to the mall. Or, you know, we would be in McDonald's 12:30 at night trying to get a job done and utilizing that free Wi-Fi because we couldn't afford to have it at home. And that's just, like I said, y'all, it's all about resources. And some of us may be able to afford it. But again, that goes back to prioritizing. If you don't need it, if it's not a necessity, cut it out. Like I said, it's a McDonald's on every corner. If they kick you out because you've been there too long and you didn't eat, go to another one. But utilize your resources. Save as much as you can. And don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Marketing is a vital role in growing any business. And that's something, again, I learned early on, that I can't pay these people to shout me out. I can't pay these marketing firms to, you know, put me #1 on Google when you search, or this and that and the third. But I can whoop everybody with my consistency. I can open up a social media platform on every platform there is, from YouTube to Facebook to Tumblr to Pinterest, Twitter, everywhere. That hard work, that consistency, it'll overshadow everything. You know, for the people that came in with the 4.0s, for the people that came in with the financial backing, for the people that got love from the banks. I like to say 95% of those people are not here today. I probably couldn't even call those guys if I wanted to. I have no idea where they're at today. You know, and not saying that's a good thing, because I don't want everybody to win. But I'm just here to tell you, there are intangibles, there's intellectual property. There are some things school can't teach you. There are some things as an independent individual or entrepreneur, or somebody who wants to save from the ground up, from the mud, grassroots. These are 3 vital tips that can help you to get to that very position. You know, and just a reminder, year 1, I grossed 23 grand. Year 2, it was 172 grand. Last year, it was 272 grand. And we're at April 28th, and it's 96 grand on the year from January 1 to April 28th. I tell you guys all the time, I speak from a place of experience. This did derive from Daily Jewel 2, I want to say. But anyway, you guys stay tuned. I have another Daily Jewel coming on Thursday. We back on track this time. And I'm going to see you guys next time.